to make amends, but the corruption had already spread, and thus his belief of his own strength was proved wrong, drowning Insulae in darkness. Although every generation ever born in Insulae had been taught about the tale of the brothers, none were prepared for what they had to face. At the end, what they really needed wasn't just there. A desperate call was sent all through the universe, begging for anyone to help. For anyone who was daring enough to face the uncertain, a portal was opened with the last remains of a magic that would never wake again. Now all that was left to do was to hope, and as the hell began, all started. This is the legend of Tamai.
This is your camp in Oppidum, a spot within the island of Insulae which will serve as your main base of operations. Welcome to the showcase, in which we will give you a run on everything you can do in here. When you first arrive at the island, you will be in need of a refuge of your own. After you meet Kai, he will assist you in building your camp. From here, it will all depend on your actions and choices. There are many types of buildings you'll be able to assemble, but finding out how will be up to you. You will have to talk to the right people in order to get the blueprints you need. Sometimes you will need to get serious about this stuff and improve the quality of your buildings. Some of them have 4 different tiers, which will allow you to improve their functions and also give them a new look. Eventually your camp will be equipped to cover every need you have. It's getting late. Of course, you're free to keep exploring the island when it's dark, but remember, nights are pretty dangerous out in the wilds. So you might want to take this chance to rest. Before that, however, let's make sure our stations are working, so no time is wasted. Now we can call it a day. Morning! It's a new day and hopefully most of our stations will be done after working all night. It's also a great time to check your crops. If you water them every day, they will have grown. Some of them will be ready for harvest, but others might need more time. Whoops, looks like someone forgot to water some of their crops, so they'll need to be plucked out. Mornings are also a great time to take care of your animals and collect their produce. We have milk, wool and eggs, so let's store them in our bank. You can use any resources stored in the bank as materials for your different stations. Let's use that wool to make some cloth, which will be useful for crafting. Milk and eggs are excellent ingredients to make some dough. And now that we have dough, how about baking something with it? Let's take the veggies we harvested earlier. Muffins are one of the most typical ways of enjoying your meals in Insulae. They bake everything into muffins, including fruits, veggies, spices and even fish. I know it doesn't sound too appetizing in the real world, but I promise, in Insulae, this is a delicacy. Alright, you can relax now, the muffins won't burn. Now it's a perfect time for exploring, doing quests, or gathering some resources. You can also take whatever you crafted or harvested at the camp and see what uses you can find for it. Hey, looks like we just stumbled upon someone really interesting. This is Dora, and she's not that easy to find. If you come across her, she might request your help. Once you've assisted her with her specific issues, she'll offer her catalog to you. Dora will sell you blueprints for some decorations in your camp. This will be such a perfect way to go one step further with its layout. And as you progress in the story, you will find different ways to unlock new decorations and styles. Whether you want a fully efficient and functional camp or a cozy spot where you can feel at home, you will find many options for whatever suits your playstyle, and also that of your friends. So what do you think about the camps in Oppidum? Are you excited to build your own little haven on Insulae? We certainly are looking forward to seeing what kind of base you make. Stay tuned for more updates on the development, we have a lot to share with you about it. See you soon on Insulae! Hello and welcome to this extended gameplay of Oppidum, a survival story-driven adventure inspired by Zelda for 1 to 4 players. What you're seeing now is part of a somewhat advanced game, in which the player has already been able to craft some decent equipment, as they progress through some quests that are part of the main story of the game. We just received a quest from a kid to fetch his ball inside this enemy camp, which we needed to clear anyway so we could get back to the main settlement of the game we found so far. There's some strategy to be taken into account here. Every enemy behaves differently. For example, that guy in the back is able to cast attacks on area and heal their allies, so it's a good idea to take them out first. That doesn't mean you have to lower your guard. Okay, so now that the camp is clear, the barrier blocking our way is down and I'm free to claim my loot. Here's where resource management comes into play, as I currently don't have enough space for everything I'm carrying and need to decide which items I keep. Stones are abundant compared to some of the items in the chest, so I just get rid of them. Fur and bones are less easy to find, but I have some back at my camp and don't really need them right now, so off they go. Okay, with that I can make it out. But wait, I just remember I had a ball to find in here. The kid mentioned the ball getting stuck on a tree, so let's use the hatchet to try and bring it down. Alright, here it is. As you can see, there's a glowing silhouette where the tree used to be, which serves as an indication that the tree will respawn. There's an energy on the island called Tamai, which keeps nature in balance cycle and regrows its resources. Alright, good deed achieved, and we earned ourselves a nice extra heart up in the left corner. It will be useful for our next steps, so I'm glad I didn't ignore this request. I'm going to ignore those wild boars for now. My compressor isn't in the best condition, so it's best we avoid unnecessary battle. Instead, let's do some routine checkup on Litor, the settlement I've mentioned before. Nip, one of the main characters in our questline, asked us to retrieve her special quill from the library. Let's jump straight to the moment in which I delivered the quill to her. It's a new day, as you can see, and we find Nip and Kai helping us investigate so we can progress in our current task. So we have our next objective. Here you can see me contemplating really hard the idea of jumping, maybe I'll be able to land with style, but this kind of slime comes to remind me that there's fall damage, and I probably don't want to risk it, so let's tank him properly. We're back at Litore now. In order to complete the ritual to contact Trunch, one of the legendary guardians of the island, we need to find imbued fruit. Habs is the farmer at Litore, so if anyone can help us with this, it's her. Seems like the process is going to require farming back at our camp, as well as collecting some mud. Mud can be found in beaches, which are often populated like monsters, like those giant hermit crabs back there. Now before I leave, I'm going to need a well in my camp to fill up my water can and water my crops. I'm going to need some rope, and one easy way to find it is at the local store. There isn't currency of any type on Insule. Instead, its inhabitants commerce by bartering, so let's try to get ourselves a good deal. Good thing I took some time to defeat those crabs back there and have some extra loot to use in the transaction. Very well, no pun intended, let's jump straight to our camp. I have some stone being processed into stone blocks in my forge. And it's late, so let's sleep and let it work overnight. Good morning, it's a brand new day, and our stone blocks should be ready. Good, we can now build our well, fill up a water can and water these crops. Fine, let's plant the seeds Habs gave me, aside from the ones I already had. And something I'm noticing is that my water can can't actually hold much water, so instead of refilling it, let's make a better one. We actually have to make one for the offering, so let's make two and retire the old one. Yup, this is much better. Once we are done with collecting everything we need for our offering, we only need to clear the area around the altar and present the tribute to Trunch. Getting the imbued fruit took some more elements, but we got some extra reward from Habs. And the purples, the last part of the offering, required us crafting a new tool that will be useful in our adventure. Finally present the offering to Trunch. Now, let's hope everything goes well from now on.